Let's look at the final section of chapter 11. We're going to look at a lot of things to do with the word faire. Let's start off with some expressions with faire. Now, the general meaning of faire is to make or to do. It is just a very broad verb, but there's a lot of expressions that have pretty specific meanings in it. For example, faire semblant de means to pretend to do something. So semblant is from sembler to seem. So you can see how that could be related to pretend. Faire partie de means to be a part of something, to belong to. So that's a like partition, part of something. A little different is faire part de, which means to inform or to announce. That's tricky because all it's partie versus part. Faire part de is to inform somebody of something. Faire du mal à means to do evil to hurt. Faire du bien à means to do good to help, to encourage, to please. It's a quite broad expression. The question, comment se fait-il? So we've got il fait, an impersonal expression with in a pronomial form, is how does it happen that, or how is it that? Faire le ménage is an expression to meaning to do housework. So that's a common expression for doing housework and clean up and things like that. Now, we're going to look at the expressions. Sometimes they're called faire plus infinitive, or sometimes they're called faire, doing to do something to do. It's the idea of faire followed by an infinitive, and it means to cause or to have something. So there's some examples in the book, and here are some examples. Faire venir, that means to make come, or to make to come, or we would use the word to send for there. Faire voir means to make to see, or to show. Faire savoir means to make know, or to inform, or to let someone know. Faire remarquer, remarquer means to notice, to make someone notice is to point out. Faire tomber, tomber is to fall. Faire tomber, to make something fall, we have the verb to drop. So they're sometimes we leave them as two words. Sometimes we use them as we have one special word in English for these expressions. Let's look at how these get used in more complex sentences. So we're going to have faire, so faire plus some other infinitive, to cause somebody to do something. Quelque chose, that means something to someone. So, for example, j'ai fait voir la voiture à Jacques. So that means j'ai fait, that's the passé composé of faire, because remember the past participle of faire is fait. So I did to see, or I made to see, or I made to see the car to Jacques or James. That's the French word for James. So I caused to see, I showed, faire voir can also be shown, or caused to see, or made to see, or had to have someone see something. So we can translate this in a number of ways. It's I caused James to see the car. I had James see the car. I showed the car to James. Now, it's important to note that you didn't cause the car to see James, or you didn't show James to the car. It's the what was made to be seen, the direct object is the car, and to whom is Jacques. So I had James see the car. Now there's also expressions like this with laisser. Laisser means to leave or to let when it's followed by the infinitive. So we're going to focus on laisser meaning to let. So laisser faire is similar to faire constructions. Laisser plus an infinitive. Il laisse venir les enfants. He lets the children come is how we would translate that. So that's a uh, uh, expression talking about Jesus letting the little children come to him. Il laisse venir les enfants. Now he could have il fait venir les enfants. He has the children come, but you can also say il laisse venir les enfants. So that's a little less agentic, a little less causal. He lets the children come. Um, Il laisse tomber le ballon. So tomber is to fall. So it's really he lets fall. Le ballon is the ball. He he lets the ball fall, but we would say he drops the ball. That's we have a word for letting something drop. Il fait tomber le ballon. Here we've got faire tomber in contrast to laisser tomber, and this would be he makes the ball fall, which we would also use he drops the ball because we can use uh, either one. Il fait tomber might be closer to throwing the ball down, but drops the ball would still be an okay translation in many contexts. So here are some an exercise, and again, this makes a story. So experiment and play around with these expressions until you get a story that makes a good sense.